All right, Z-Man, third epi of the summer. We're absolutely buzzing right now. It's good to be back with you. How you doing?
Doing great. Week 2 of training, week 1 of the Ponza Brookfield Day Camp. First day today. It was great to see all the kids back and buzzing. You can check it out on the Tigers Eye Hockey Instagram page. Lots of stories, and we're going to get some posts of some of the games going here soon.
That's awesome. I'm glad to see you're figuring out the whole phone thing. It's really nice to see you be active on there. I know it's been an absolute hassle for you, I'm sure, but you're starting to figure it out. You're posting some stories on the Tigers Eye Hockey. It's looking good. It's looking up.
My screen time has shot up because it takes me 30 minutes to post one thing. I'm trying to figure out it's bananas, man.
Well, welcome back to Instagram, Z man. It's awesome to have you back. I did want to let everyone know, obviously, we're on Instagram at the buzzpod underscore. And if you're listening to the pod on a regular basis, we'd appreciate if you would subscribe, like, all that good stuff. Make sure you're tuning in every Sunday. The episodes are releasing at 6 a.m. sharp. Obviously, you don't have to set your alarm and wake up for it, but just know it'll be out by then. So when you wake up, just tune in with your cup of Joe, relax, enjoy a nice conversation with the fellas. Yeah, that's all I got for the intro. Let's get into our special guest. I mean, we got a very special one. I'm excited for this. Z-Man's been very hot recruiting guest. He's like a salesman, just a great recruit, just getting people on. It's awesome.
Says the salesman himself. Uh, no, we got a great one today. Joining us today is a seasoned veteran with 769 games under his belt in the NHL, AHL, and ECHL. It's safe to say he has seen it all. I had the honor to play with this guy who has helped me out a ton in my career. It's my absolute pleasure to welcome the captain of the Toronto Marlies, Logan Shaw, to the Buzz Pod.
This interview is brought to you by Tigers Eye Hockey.
Making hockey IQ great again. There he is,
Hey,
Shazi.
how we doing, guys?
Good, man.
Doing
How's summer treating you?
Good. Yeah, we got a couple nice days here. We're home. We're chilling. Yeah,
Oh, look at that.
nice.
That's
yeah,
That's a
beautiful.
we're
nice
home.
pool.
Yeah, it's nice. Nice to be
Where is
home.
that?
I'm in Halifax, Nova Scotia.
Oh, beautiful place, home of the
Oh
Moose.
yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I
Very
saw
Um,
cool.
you. I saw you actually played a little bit in Cape Breton over there. I was in the queue for a bit. Cape Breton's a good spot.
oh yeah, where'd you play?
I was in St. John and Rimouski, but when I was in St. John, I visited the Cape a lot. Good little
Oh, nice.
casino there.
Oh yeah, right attached to the rink.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's where I'm from. That's where I'm from, and I played my first 3.5 years there.
Oh, you're from like the Cape Breton area?
Yeah, I'm from Cape Breton. Yeah, I lived with my parents when I was playing there, so it was nice.
Oh, that's so funny because
Yeah.
you probably don't know him. He's a little younger than you, but I played with a guy, Cole Reginato. He's from
Oh
Cape
yeah,
Breton.
I know who Cole is. Yeah.
Yeah, you know
Yeah.
Reggie, and
Yeah, he's a little meatball. He's tough as
oh,
nails, man.
oh yeah, and
Yeah.
he always used to talk about the old Myra, how special it is.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's where my folks live now. He's one of those guys who go bridge jumping and stuff. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh
Yeah.
yeah. The old Myra.
Yeah.
Shazi, have you started training, summer training?
Yeah. I have a gym in my basement, so I did like a couple weeks. I just like pick at it
Yeah.
downstairs in the mornings, and Hazen would come down and just we'd mess around. But today was my first day back in the gym, actually going
Oh,
into the gym
wow.
with my trainer. Yeah, it was nice. It's nice to
Yes.
get back into a routine.
Oh, for sure. You're missing a pretty big training partner, Mr. Marchand. Got to be cool to see him on the TV.
Oh man, it'd be pretty cool to have a cup party down the road. Yeah,
Yeah, it would.
yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
would
pulling for
you?
him. I'm pulling for him.
Oh, for sure. You played 232 regular season games in the NHL and 15 playoff games. How hard is the NHL playoffs?
Yeah, it's a different breed for sure. Um, I was very fortunate to be able to play those games. I mean, like any game, obviously, is the biggest thing I say is to get to the NHL is hard. To stay in the NHL is even harder. Um, but to get the chance to play playoff games, I got hurt. My second round, like second time going through the NHL playoffs. The first one I was with Florida. We lost to the Islanders, and it was like heartbreaking. We were up 2-1 with like 10 seconds left in the game, and Tavares scored a goal to tie it. And then he scored again to win it in overtime. And I just remember thinking, like, man, like, how cool would it be to be able to, call yourself a winner, but especially at that level. And then my next year in Anaheim, we ended up losing in the conference finals to Nashville in 7 games. But I got hurt in the second round against Edmonton. And it's just, to me, the best way to describe it is anything can happen. Like anything can happen on any single. I know that's hockey in general, but like the playoffs is, if you watch the game the other night, um, he, it doesn't matter. There could be 10 seconds left. There could be two periods left. It's just never over, right? Especially when you're playing against guys like, McDavid and Draisaitl and these guys that are out there. Like the game is never over.
And Corey
Um,
Perry.
yeah, well, that's what I mean. And well, like it's funny enough is the game that I'm going to tell you about. When I was in Anaheim, we played Edmonton second round, and it was game 5, and we were down 3-0 with 3.5 minutes left in the game, and it's called a comeback on Catella. That's what it's known as. We end up scoring 3 goals in the last 3.5 minutes. Like the rink like emptied out when Edmonton scored their third goal, and the rink like it was half empty, and we scored. And then Kessler had it was like a big um, argument on the goal. It was a goalie interference. They reviewed it and they still called it a goal. And it was like all over the news about how it shouldn't have been a goal. And then we end up tying it and we won in double overtime with the goal scored by Corey Perry. So, he's been around since then and he's still going. I think, what he's doing right now at 40 years old is like, I know he's a good player and he's skilled and he's talented, but to be able to do that at 40 years old, it takes more than just skill and talent.
Oh man, that guy loves the game. I never met him. That guy loves the game.
Oh yeah, he's
Uh,
set for life. He's set for life. He was set for life 10 years ago,
yeah,
right? So for him to still do it, it's because he loves the game.
yeah, for
Man.
sure. And you mentioned you were cheering Brad Marchand and the Florida Panthers, but you also played for Paul Maurice for a season when you were over there in Winnipeg. Can you just talk about what it was like playing for him? I mean, seeing the clips online, he just looks like such a well thought out person. Like everything he says, you're just like, man, this guy is so stoic, like such a genius.
Yeah, I loved him. I loved playing for him. I thought he was very, very intelligent. You can tell by the way he speaks and break. I still watch all of his press conferences and his interviews because you could ask him about any player on the team on any given night, and he won't just say, "Oh, he had a good game. He wasn't great." He'll give you a complete breakdown of what he actually thought of that guy on that game. He won't kind of, beat around the bush and just give you the generic answer. He'll tell you what he thought. He'll tell you why he thought it. And I think for a coach to do that, it takes a lot of guts to do that, but it takes intelligence as well. But he was a very honest coach, and he always told you, straight up, and there was no gray area, and how what you think your role was, or is it different than what he thought? He'll tell you every single night what he wanted from you. I remember we were playing in Dallas with Winnipeg. My line mates were Nick Shore and Gabriel Bork. We were the fourth line. We were down 3-1 going into the third. And, let's say we averaged 9 minutes a night throughout the season. And I remember Paul came into the dressing room going into the third period and he was, all right, Shorzy, your line, you guys are done for the night. We're rolling 3 lines. I want the big dogs going. Yeah, it sucks to hear, but like, that like, hey, I did my job. Like, I'm not going on the bench, like expecting another shift. Like, yeah, someone gets hurt in this power play. Sure, you'll get out there. Like, you're ready for it. But it's not like you're sitting there like, why is he not playing me? Why is he not playing me? He told you going into the third, this is why, this is what I'm doing. We went out. I remember we won in overtime. Like, Shifley and those guys just turned it up. They started rolling. They started feeling the puck. They started feeling good. Sometimes with that's what those guys need. But like for Paul to do that, he doesn't have to do that. But he did because, he understands it's the right thing to do. Like, so guys aren't, begging for a shift. And obviously we are, and we want to play and we want to get out there, but it's better to know the reason why instead of having to go in to talk to him after into his office and be like, hey, what did I do wrong? Why did I not
Yeah,
play?
yeah. And
Right.
he could have just had that conversation with his assistant coaches like, "Hey, I'm not playing the fourth line." But then he wouldn't say it to the team, which is what most coaches do
Right.
as a fourth liner for life
Yep.
myself. I know how that
Yeah.
works. It's just like you're not used to hearing much. Like you kind of know
Right.
if you're not playing, you're just not playing.
Right.
Just open the door, be a good guy. And actually really like as a fourth liner, you try actually to just not even ask questions and just like
Hide. Hide. Right.
hope that it's not really on you. Maybe
Right.
watch some film and see if it is on you, but hope that it's not on you and just kind of keep rolling.
Right. What they always say, no talk is good talk up in the NHL, right? If no one's talking to you, you're still there. Right. When
Yeah,
someone comes to talk to you, you're like, okay, I'm getting sent down. Oh, what's happening now? But like no talk is good talk. But for him to do that, you just respect him more because he's telling you why he's giving you like it's not there's no you turn that puck over your bench. It's just like, hey, I want my big guys to touch the puck. I want them to get feeling good. I want them to roll, and that's what they did. You know, and it's like, it's just a coincidence that we won the game. But it's just to me, I will always remember that because him just being honest and telling it direct. It's you just respect him for it.
It saves you a lot of worry. It saves you a lot of mental space in there. You know, a
No,
hockey
for
player.
sure. And I mean, if it comes and you get a shift or two shifts in the third, you're still ready for it. You're still mentally engaged in the game. Like we're not. It's not like we checked out, untied our laces, but it was just the fact that you're not like, oh man, that was our turn, boys. Like why aren't we going? You just knew. You knew what he wanted.
Even then, if you get one, now he's kind of set you up to look at it as a bonus shift, and
Yeah,
you're
exactly,
fired up,
exactly. Yeah, you got to get the cement mixers going and try to power through it, right?
for sure.
Well, I guess it checks out. He's been to 3 cup finals in the last 3 years.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
Shazi,
Oh, honesty in a coach. I mean, that's hard to find.
It's
As
huge.
easy as
Yeah,
that sounds.
exactly. No, exactly,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
yeah. Shazi, you've had an amazing career. When I was doing the research, I'm just like looking through, but you've never had an opportunity to represent Canada until this past year at the Spangler Cup. 3 goals in 3 games, and you wore an A on your jersey. How was that experience?
Yeah, that was when they asked me, and I was talking about it, with my family and my wife, and we're expecting another child, so she wasn't able to come. But yeah, but it's my Olympics. It was my like to be able to wear your country's flag on your chest, and you're playing for something greater than you or your team. You're playing for a country. I know it's not like the most followed tournament, but to me it was something very special that I'll never forget. But the whole experience, what Hockey Canada did for us, and then the way that they made us feel when we got there, right from day one, even before that, with the Zoom meetings, everything, it was something that I would love to do again. If I ever got the chance, I would love to bring my family over there because Switzerland for Christmas, spending Christmas over there in the mountains. It was like a movie. Like the snow was just trickling down and people walking off the train with a beer in their hand, skis over their shoulder, and you're just going to play a hockey game. The rink was like an old auditorium, super cool. There was no goal horn; it was just the crowd's chants, and it was a really cool experience. I wish we would have had the chance to win, but it's good hockey. It was competitive hockey, and it was a lot of fun. I know Souls, you and the guys were cheering on in the bus when you guys were going to play.
Yep.
I think it was Belleville,
Yep.
and getting texts after the game saying, we watch this, watch that. So it's cool to have support from my own team and friends, but it's a country thing and it's a national thing, so it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, we were watching that game on the bus to Belleville, and guys are napping. And you had 2 goals that game. So the first goal, we're banging the cabinets up top, like let's go.
Yeah,
And then you score again, and we wake everybody up again.
yeah, no, it
Oh,
was awesome. Yeah, it was really cool.
Awesome.
769 games across 12 years, about 64 games a year. What's the key for you to stay healthy for your whole career?
I've obviously always prepared throughout the off season, and if I ever had any lingering injuries, I've always like maintained them, rehabbed them, took my time. I have a great training group here, even my strength coaches that I've had along the way. Obviously, a big part of it, and even through the season, the staff that we work with, Toronto especially, but all the organizations that I've played with throughout my career, everyone's kind of done a good job of making sure that do what's best for the player and the team, but make sure that the players are ready to go for games. But I think a big part of it is having fun and enjoying it. And it sounds kind of like sounds different to say for a physical side of it, but you go to the rink and if you're a little injured, like you still want to play, you still want to have fun, you still want to be out there competing with your friends and competing in general against some of the best players that you can play against in the different leagues, and you want to win every night, and you feel like your best chance to win is for you to play. That should be everyone's mindset, but I think for me, it's yeah, you got to prepare and make sure that your body is physically ready and capable of going through the 72 game season for us. And like this year for me, it was the Spangler Cup, and then I didn't have much of a break this year in any of our breaks. So being able to do that, yeah, it's tough, but you have to know when to push yourself and when to kind of take a day off, or just go a little lighter in the gym, but then push yourself on certain days where you feel better. But then when you go to the rink, and so as you can attest to this, is you're the same way. It's when you get there, we're having fun and you're enjoying yourself. So yeah, we're working out, and Toronto, they do the microdosing. You're working out every day, but it's like, hey, we're in here to get better, but we're going to be in here and enjoy. The guys have good music on. There's riddles on the board to get everyone involved, get your brain going. A couple of crosswords, just it's just you go to the rink and you sit there and have a coffee. And at the end of the day, when you're done playing, you miss the game. I'm sure you're going to miss lacing up the skates, but you're going to miss more of that stuff. You're going to miss more of sitting down trying to figure out what 52 down is in the crossword,
For sure.
and having a coffee, and having a buddy to look at and be like, hey, does anyone know this? And that's the stuff that you're going to miss. And I think that's why you try to play as many games as you can, play as long as you can, just because it's what you want to do.
Yeah, as a guy who's been able to play pro hockey for such a long time, like what's kind of like that secret sauce pregame routine? Can you maybe walk us through a shortened version, or if
Yeah, for me, my routine, for a 4 o'clock game, I'm usually at the rink around 12:45. Hot tubbing, cold tubbing. Then I tape my sticks around 1 o'clock. I'm taping my sticks between 1 and 1:20. It's sticks taped, laces done in my skates, and then 1:20. I'm usually in the gym from about 1:20 to maybe 2 o'clock, and then by 2 o'clock, I'm sitting down with my crossword puzzle and a coffee from 2 o'clock to 2:15 when our meetings start for power play and PK. Do our meetings, and then I'm back. So my window space between 1:20 and 2, it's more of I'm biking, I'm doing my band distractions, I'm stretching, some movement preparation, just to get my body moving good, feeling good. And then after our power play PK team meeting, that's when I'll go out and then I'll start doing my activation, where I'm moving a lot, get my heart rate up. And then, if I have time, I'll play a couple games of soccer. But I'm not a huge sewer ball guy, but again, with the great group of guys that we had in Toronto the last couple of years, it kind of brought me in, and I started to enjoy playing. I'm not very good at soccer, but I started to enjoy being in there and just having fun with the guys.
You can never question his effort. That's
Yeah.
that's one thing.
That's one thing I will preach. I
I
don't
love
have
that.
skill,
I
but
love
I'll give you effort. Solo has a sewer ball rankings he will put out like once a month. And I'm always in like the average range in the middle, which I'll take because I'm only going for effort. I'm not going for skill.
You only give yourself 15 minutes for the crossword. If you don't finish it, do you go back for it before your thing, or you just leave it as is?
No, I won't finish the puzzle, and I won't go to a game with the puzzle unfinished.
Okay. So you got
I
to
mean,
finish it.
sometimes there might be times where I don't finish it, but I'll usually finish it, and then if not, I usually get a little rub down before I get dressed from my athletic therapist, and I'll go in there with the puzzle with a couple of blanks, and we'll bounce them back and forth. We'll work through it.
Okay,
his
okay. How
it started out like only Shazi was doing the crosswords. Then like 30 games into the season, there's like 4 or 5 guys doing the crosswords. Then like 50 games into the season, the video coach is printing 20 crosswords. Every guy's walking by the table, grabbing a crossword, fucking folding it, putting
Yeah,
it in the pocket.
it's
doing it.
awesome.
I
That's
got
leadership. Everyone's
Yeah,
yes, it is.
jumping
yeah,
on the
yeah.
ship.
You're one of the best captains I've ever had. And I just know the Marlies are in great hands. And fuck, it was a pleasure playing with you. And now that I'm turning the page, it's kind of sad, but I'm very grateful that you came onto my podcast. I was a little nervous to have you on. That's
Yeah,
why it's been 3
he
years.
had the pregame jitters for this for sure. Like having his captain on the podcast, like it's a pretty big deal.
And
On
Souls, for you, thanks for saying those things. I think it is a tough decision to make. You sometimes you feel like you're giving up your dream of playing in NHL, but don't look at it that way. Obviously, like there's always guys come back, man. Guys come back and make the NHL, and it's about going over there and still playing your best. And so it doesn't matter what league you're in. You want to be your best, play the best, and play against the best that you can. And I
Mhm.
think for like I said with my decision, your decision, it's not always what's best for you anymore. It's what's best for us. And
Mhm.
I think you're going to have a blast over there. I've heard nothing but good things in Mannheim. I think with your attitude and your work ethic that wherever you want to be next, that's where you're going to go.
Wow. I appreciate that. That's awesome. We're gonna lighten the mood a little bit and end it on
I
this.
can double tap that though about
Yeah,
Zach.
for
With his
sure, man.
attitude and work ethic,
Yeah,
I agree
and
with
his conspiracy theories.
you. Yeah.
Yes. Um, I want you to participate in the Marley's Minute. Just gonna rattle off some questions. Here we go. Favorite restaurant in Toronto?
I'm going to say north of Brooklyn Pizza, to be honest.
Favorite away city to play in?
Oh, Favorite rink to play in is Laval.
Yep. Favorite golf course in Toronto?
TPC.
You prefer a Raptors game or a Blue Jays game?
Wow. I like both, but I think I got to say the Blue Jays threw out the first pitch.
Yeah. And your favorite Marlies moment?
Um, wow, that's a tough question. I think coming to the rink every day with our group, especially last year, I think just because we had so many guys returning from year over year. But I think probably my favorite moment, probably when I was named captain in Toronto, flew up my parents to surprise me and had my wife and son there to tell me that I was going to be the captain of the Marlies. I would say that's probably my favorite day so far.
That's
That's
so
awesome.
cool. That's so
That's
cool.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. We're going to end it on that.
Yeah,
Shazi,
thanks,
thank you so much
Shazi.
for coming on.
Yeah, no problem, guys. Thanks for having me. I'd love to come back anytime.
Oh yeah.
You're the
Well,
man.
hey, we'll take you up on that. Thanks for
Yeah, no
that.
problem.
We're
Anytime,
still
guys.
recording. We're still
Yeah,
recording.
anytime, anytime.
All right.
Uh, got it.
Z-Man, you did it. You went through the whole pod with your captain. You didn't sound too nervous. It was awesome.
Well, I was a bit nervous, man. Thanks to Shazi for coming on. Like, what an amazing guy. He's just kind of a natural, to be honest. They at team events with Toronto, they'll tell him that he has to speak, but a few times they didn't tell him and they put him on the spot, like mic in hand. Hey, can you say a couple words? And every time he absolutely kills it. But he has another 2 years being captain of the Marlies and probably will extend out even longer because he takes great care of himself and he's an amazing person. So thanks to Shazi, and find a crossword if you can. It'll help you out.
What a great pro, eh? What a great pro. Find a crossword, that's a great one. And I can tell he's just a great speaker. I mean, all we had to do is hit him with a few questions and then he just ran with them. It was unreal, man. I just sat back, could have had some popcorn, just listen to him talk.
Well, we will take him up on his
Yeah.
offer.
Oh, we'll for sure get him back on. 100%. 100%. I'd love to go into detail with him kind of about his summer training and stuff, just because he's had such great longevity and
Well, we talked about it a lot actually, and he's pretty big on rotational T-spine movement. He's a lot of bands, not much weights. He's really lengthening and getting that rotational strength and stability. When you're kind of playing, you're turning back for pucks, you're shooting, you're very good all aspects of the ice. Oh, and by the way, this guy skates over the bench with a rake for faceoffs, man, and just rakes them back. This guy is
uh
wrong in the dot.
joining us today after his eighth season in the National Hockey League, finishing with his hometown Montreal Canadiens, is our good friend Alex Carrier. Mon car,
What up?
ça va?
Yo.
What the?
Ça va? You know Z, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Played
What up,
together.
man? Yeah.
Nashville training camp. Great to see you.
Good to see you too, man.
Hey, Car, we're gonna start like this. Happy first Father's Day, baby. Happy
That's right.
first Father's Day. How's it been with the puppy, bro?
Yeah, it's been good. She's getting there. It's been 2 weeks now, so the first week she wasn't really sleeping, like she had diarrhea and everything, but now it's getting there. But happy Father's Day to you guys.
Thank you,
Ah,
thank you.
thank you.
That's awesome. Car, actually, you got to experience what it's really like what fatherhood is really like. You canceled your first boys' dinner for the pup. I mean, that's gonna happen, that's part of being a dad, and you did it. So props to you. That's a good dad move.
Yeah, and
Uh,
cleaning up poop.
yeah, cleaning poop. But I don't consider myself a real dad, but totally I missed my first boys' dinner. So that's tough.
Car, I just want to get into like this season a little bit. Obviously, a wild season. You started on a high expectation Nashville team that went all in on free agency last summer. It didn't really work out, but on December 18, you got the call that you're being traded to your hometown Montreal Canadiens. Can you just talk about, did you kind of feel that coming? Was it a surprise? And when you got that call, like what were the emotions like?
Yeah, a little bit of surprise. Obviously, like you said, like we had so much expectation going to Nashville, like with all the free agents we signed that summer, and it went completely the other way. I'm not sure exactly what really happened, but uh, yeah, I knew like when a team is supposed to perform and you're not performing, there's always changes, whether it's coaching staff, players, stuff like that. So I knew there was a chance. I was still surprised when I got the call. Good thing I talked to my agent that day, and then he gave me a heads up, so that helped. But otherwise, I would have been pretty shocked. But yeah, you always expect something when things goes the way it went, but then I didn't think it was gonna be me, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, you were with that organization for your entire career. You were drafted to the Nashville Predators fourth round, and you've been with them your entire career. Like I said, 200 plus American League games there with Milwaukee. So obviously it's tough for the player to move and all that, but for you, I mean, you're going back to your hometown to Montreal. Probably some mixed emotions. I mean, obviously you're gonna have to be buying a ton of tickets now, but can you just talk about just a little bit of excitement, the city you grew up in and went to games at when you were younger?
No, it was unreal. Like when we got like when we knew it was Montreal, it was the only spot we wanted to go. So the trade was a shock, but to go there and just to call my family and to tell them I was coming back home, and it was right before Christmas as well. So it was the first time we spent Christmas all together in like, I don't know, 9 years. So that was a cool moment. And then just to be able to like wear the jersey, the Abs jersey, is just such an honor. Like especially growing up here, all about the history, about the fans, how passionate they are, and it's just such a cool feeling, honestly. And I'm sure, like even for you guys, even though you guys didn't grow up in Montreal, I'm sure you would wear that jersey and be like, "Holy, this is something else." Like the Bell Center is the best place in the league, and now to be on the good side of it, it's even more surreal. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Talk about that first game real quick.
Yeah, first game we were actually in Detroit, so flew to Detroit, met the guys, and then I had my first media touch. 20 media asking you question. I wasn't used to that in Nashville. So anyway, so the next day we were in Detroit. I remember my first shift. I got like I don't remember the shift itself, but I came back to the bench, and then Savard was sitting next to me, and I just told him in French, I'm like, man, the Montreal Canadian, like just so just so excited to like just like the feeling it was sick. We ended up winning the game. We had a back-to-back play that next game, the next night in at the Bell Center against Detroit again. Won that game. So that was my first game at the Bell Center, but it was just so much going on. Like I was tired from a back to back. We came back late. I didn't sleep much. And even like before my first game in Detroit, I didn't sleep much. Just like you're nervous. There's a new system, new everything. So I was trying to adjust as much as I could. So my first game at the Bell Center, I was really excited, but I wasn't as nervous as I thought I was gonna be. Like my whole family was there. They like everybody was there, so I wasn't nervous because I was tired as hell. It wasn't that bad, but it was definitely like a cool moment. Yeah.
Bro, you are spot on with the energy in the buildings there. I never played in the Bell Center, but I played against Laval a lot this year,
Yeah.
and by far the best American League building I've played in. The energy there is electric, and the warm up music, best in the league. They got the club music going. You can feel the ice vibrating, man. We were supposed to play them in the playoffs, and I told my girls, I'm like, we play them in the playoffs. You girls are coming up and experiencing this because it's by far my favorite place to play.
Yeah, Laval is unreal, man. It's like it feels like the NHL.
That's what they say.
I played one or two games when I was in Milwaukee in Laval, and it was super cool. And then me and Blatchy actually went to one of the games in the playoffs last couple of weeks, and the energy is just unreal. It feels like they try to do like a whiteout, like a bit like Winnipeg does and stuff like that. But yeah, so imagine so Bell Center is a little bit like that, but like 10 times more, which is
Well,
insane.
that's the first thing I asked Carr. I was like, "Oh my God, this is electric! Like, is this kind of what it's like at the Bell Center?" And he's like, "Man, this is." He was like, "You have no idea what the Bell Center is like. I got to get to a playoff game, man."
Yeah. You just talked about Milwaukee. You played 4 seasons there. I lived there in the summers. How did you like living there and playing there?
I loved it, honestly. Yeah, for me, I feel like I wouldn't be where I am right now in my hockey career if it wasn't for Milwaukee. You get there. I was 19 because I'm a late birthday, so I got there at 19 years old, and then you just learn so much from. I had great veterans there, great coaching staff, stuff like that, and then you just grow as a hockey player, but you also grow as a person, as a human being, as an adult. You got to take care of yourself. You're living by yourself now in the States, working on your English and stuff like that. So like there's so much going on, so I'm glad I got to experience that in Milwaukee because it's a great city. I heard during the summers it's unreal. What's the festival there, the music festival?
Yes, Summerfest.
Yes, I heard Summerfest is unreal. I want to get there at some point.
Yeah,
um One day I'll go back for Summerfest for sure. But no, we I love Milwaukee. Made some friendship that's gonna last like for forever. And yeah, we had a great time. We had good teams too, so that was awesome.
yes, man. A hidden gem, like underrated city. Everybody that I asked that played there, they love it. Like makes total sense. From the hockey side, what do you think you learned to break through that AHL to NHL barrier?
Yeah, great question. I think my defensive game mostly. At some point, like when I got to the AHL, I was first PP guy. I had points my first year a lot and stuff like that. A lot on the PP, and you got to figure it out how to make it to the next level. And for me, I was like, I'm not gonna play on the first PP in Nashville. Roman Yossi is gonna be there for the next 10 years, and I don't even know if I'm gonna play on the PP anyway. So you have to figure that out. So I really try to like push my defensive game as much as possible, and then after that, it was when you get your chance, you gotta take it. I played 2 games my first year, my rookie year, and I played shy. You play 10, 12 minutes max, and you're just happy to be there, kind of thing. But when I got my shot 3 years after that, 3 years later, after my first call up, then I was like, I want to stay here, kind of. I thought I was ready to make that step, and I think that was a huge part. Mentally, I was in a different place. I was ready to. I would have gotten hit by a bus if I needed to stay in the lineup, kind of thing. So a bunch of like all of that, but it was mostly defensive play, and then the mentality of getting there and really having an impact right away and winning games. And uh, I would have done anything to stay in there. Yeah.
That makes perfect sense, man. That's exactly what we hear on the jump from the AHL to the NHL, just like the mental side. And it sounds like you just gained a ton of conviction in your game and what it takes to stay there.
That's exactly it. I was gonna say it's like almost like you can't just be happy to be there. It's got to be something where deep down you're like, this is my shot and I am so ready for this and like let's fucking go.
Yeah.
Because if you're just happy to be there, like you're gonna play like a little bit not your game, a little nervous, a little just happy to be there. It's gonna be pretty obvious that you're just happy to be there. So that's something. It's crazy that it took 3 years for your next call up, but I'm sure that really got your conviction going and really was like, next time I get my call up, I'm playing my game the way I play down here, and I'm not changing a thing, and I'm going to show them what I can do, right?
Yeah, exactly. Because even my first call up, I was super excited. First NHL game, but that training camp, the sort of summer training camp, I didn't play any exhibition games. I wasn't supposed to be a call up and everything. So for me, it was so much going on that first call up. I didn't know any of the guys. I had no friends. Kind of, like they're nice to me, but it was tougher. I'm younger and stuff like that. A lot going on, and I almost missed Milwaukee. At that time, I was like. When I got sent back down, I was kind of happy. Like I was like, "Oh, this is great." Now I get back to Milwaukee. I know exactly like what I need to do and stuff. So the second call up, that's when exactly like you said, I got there and I was like, I'm gonna play my game and whatever. Played 2 or 3 games when and it was a new coaching staff too, so it was John Hines at that time, and played great those 3 games. So it led to the next year. The next year when I got to training camp, I was like, I'm better. I think I'm better than that guy, and I think I should be on the team. And then it was a COVID year, and I ended up getting sent back down, and that was like the I was so mad, man. I was like so pissed because I thought I was ready to be a NHLer and stuff. So, but I was miserable for a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. I was in the minors for another month maybe, and the first 2 weeks I was miserable. And then I switched I flipped the switch again, and I was like, okay, I gotta get back on the grind, and I did, and then got called up, and then I never went back down after that because I was like, yeah, I'm never going back down. So it was cool though. I'm glad the ups and downs makes it. That's why DHL is the best. You get so many ups and downs, and then that makes you the player and the man you are. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Character
crazy how
masters.
hockey's all here, bro. It's crazy. Hockey's all here because like you said, you just said it. Like that first year, you weren't supposed to be a call up. And so maybe that's what they were thinking, but maybe not. But that's what you were thinking. So when you
Mhm.
got called up, it was like a surprise for you. And so that's maybe why you didn't play your game. Whereas then after that, it's like you were expecting to get called up. Like I'm waiting to get called up here, waiting to get called up. So then when you got called up, it's like boom, I'm ready to execute, right? So it's crazy, man. Like hockey's all between the ears. People like it's nuts, bro. But talk a little bit about just like your off seasons. What's something you kind of consistently work on? You're a steady blue liner in the National Hockey League, coming off your eighth season. What's like one thing you always kind of harp on in the off seasons, and then maybe one thing specifically this off season that you want to work on?
Yeah, every off season I try to. I'm a thinker, so I get a plan for the summer. I'm like, okay, this year this happened. I think I need to work on this and that. So every summer it will change a little bit. But mostly, like I'm a smaller guy, so every year it's about getting some strength back. If I don't have any, if I have some injuries, taking care of injuries first, and then getting some strength back. I like working out right away. Like I'll take 2 or 3 weeks off max, and then I'm back in the gym, either if it's rehab or like just training hard right away if I'm LT. But um, I get on the ice a bit later in the summer. So like I started last week. I went on the ice twice because I missed it. That's all I go by feel, honestly. When I was younger, I would go on the ice like four times a week early in the summer, and now my body needs some rest. So I go by feel of just, okay, I'm missing the ice, so I'm jumping on. So yeah, so strength training a lot. I gotta be in the gym at least like 14 weeks before training camp if I want to feel like I'm ready. And then on the ice, like this summer, I want to work on. I feel like watching the playoffs, everything is on the board. Like so many guys are so good at making plays. Like you look at Barkov, he can pick up like a rim, whatever all the puck is coming, he picks it up, and then he can make a play right away. So I want to work on my rim pickups, shot from the blue line, finding a lane and stuff like that. And some edge works too, like escapes, some breakouts, just little stuff like that. I'm not gonna change how I skate, but like just little um, here and there, like escape and edges work. So on the ice, that's probably what I'm gonna be focusing on. But off the ice, it's always getting back healthy, and if I'm ready healthy, then it's getting strong and big, baby.
Yeah, I mean, bro, that's like Z just messaged me 80% of the games on the walls. It's crazy because a lot of our guests lately has been saying like that's what they want to work on. Ethan Frank came on. He was saying that's what he wants to work on is like picking up rims off the wall. Like it's nuts because it's something that I think if you're just like a hockey fan, you don't really think about. Like you
Hmm.
think that's an easy part of the game. And I guess like it's simple, but it's not easy, like one of those things where it just like we don't practice it enough for the amount of times that it happens in a game.
The
I
puck,
Yeah.
find like in a
the
in a
puck is
hockey
spinning
practice, in a pro
so
practice,
fast.
you're not practicing that like as much as you need to.
No, it's you have to worry about so many different things. You have the puck is flying around the yellow, spinning. You have a forechecker coming to blow you up, and you're trying to pass it to a teammate with speed in the middle of the ice. And if you have none of that, you're trying to chip it off the wall where it doesn't get kept in to feed speed and protect yourself from getting absolutely blown up.
Yeah, actually, real quick, actually, and speaking about that, that was a great answer, Car. Can you just talk about a little bit about the simplicity of the game in the National Hockey League? Obviously, a lot of people they watch hockey, they watch the NHL. These are the best players in the world, and Z's coaching little kids now, and obviously, what they see is the highlights, the toe drags, and all that stuff. Can you? Because what I try to tell kids is like how simple of a game it is in the National Hockey League. Like, yes, it's fast. Yes, these are the best players in the world, but it's a simple game. Can you just maybe like touch on that a little bit?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I feel like all the guys that have long careers, um, sometimes they're not the fastest, but they're super smart. They make plays that fans will not see, but all the players see, and all the coaching staff will see. You know, it's like um, when when you do your job and you do it consistently, you do it right, whether it's whatever your job is. If it's shutting down, being a shutdown D, or if it's you got to win your face off and stuff like that. It's all details that would add up to your play. And I feel like if you work on your craft, not like toe drag and stuff like that, but really your craft of how am I gonna stay in the league for the longest I can do it for. That's what's gonna keep you in the league. So it's wall plays are great, but it's all details. Whether it's breakout like tape to tape pass, if you miss a pass, then everybody knows that you should make it, stuff like that. It's like it's all about you got to know what you're gonna do with the puck then as soon as you get it, but you should know before you get it, kind of. So
And then And then when you miss that pass that you're supposed to get, like you go to the bench, like obviously you've done it before. We all do it. Like, what's that mindset for you? Are you the kind of guy that's just like forget about it, or are you kind of giving it to yourself for a little bit, like what the fuck, car, and then you go back?
yeah, a little bit of that. Yeah, I'll be like, "What the fuck are you doing?" And then just pass on, just like forget about it after. But it's something that I've been working on, like my mental side of it. I've been working with a mental coach for the last 3 years now, and it's been game changing for me. It's about like finding a balance, right? Like you don't want to be the guy that's like doesn't care about missing a pass or doesn't care about having a bad game because you care. You want to be the best you can be, but you also don't want to be too much on you don't want to spend too much energy on missing a pass and little stuff like that. So I've been working a lot on that, but yeah, so a little bit of what the fuck, and then and then forget about it.
Well said.
That's awesome, bro. That's awesome. I mean, that mental coach, bro. I should hit you up for that because I mean, you're not the first guy that said that they have a mental coach. I mean, I know a lot of guys in the NHL are using that now and getting benefits from it. So it's no surprise that one of the best blue liners for the Montreal Canadiens is doing it too, bro. But that's all we got for you, brother. We just wanted short and sweet, wanted to catch up. You look amazing, bro. You sound amazing, and just thanks for coming on and
High and tight in the haircut too, man. Looking sharp.
Thanks, thanks for having me, guys. That's super easy. Let's do it more often. Catch up later on and just do a little part two or part three and stuff.
100%. We got you on
Got it.
recording saying that, so we'll do that.
Yes, sir.
All right, brother. Thanks again.
Of course.
Huge thanks to Alex Carrier for coming on. I mean, what an unbelievable guy. Honestly, one of the best guys I've ever met. And for him to be now after 8 years with one organization, get traded to his hometown team, man, that's just unbelievable. We're
Dude, he
definitely
had
gonna get him back on too before the season begins for sure.
great energy. Contagious.
Yeah, I mean, he's a steady blue liner. He sticks in the National Hockey League. I mean, he's a great player, but as you know better than I do, or the same as I do, most of it has to do with what kind of person you are.
Yes, well said. Oh, man,
But Z, we got a big week coming up. I'm flying tomorrow to see you. We're gonna hit Disney Springs. We're gonna go to a nice dinner with the girls and Theo, of course. But yeah, big week. The PHPA meetings. Unfortunately, they crunched it on us. A lot of time in meetings, but it's gonna be unbelievable, man. Just it's always great. I mean, we've done it one time, but it was unbelievable that time, and
yes.
get to meet all the boys, see all the boys again now. And yeah, I mean, obviously I'm looking to go back to back at the PHPA annual golf scramble. So that's obviously what I'm most fired up for. But yeah, talk a little bit about you're the executive, man. Talk a little bit about the meetings we got coming up.
Bro, very exciting time for the meetings. You're right, though. They did crunch it on us, and it is a business trip only. We're in meetings for like 8 hours a day. Uh, that's going to be heavy, but we'll get it done. But big news for the PHPA and us joining a strategic alliance with the NHLPA. It's the first time in 50 years that they've agreed to join alliances. They're still separate entities though. Like they're still the PHPA, still the NHLPA, but now like they share legal staff, expertise on situations, and it's just going to give the players a little bit more leverage and bargaining, and raise the standards in the workplace for us. We travel a lot, and uh, the game is evolving so fast. The game is changing fast. A lot of new fans are coming, so the players, we got to grow with the game as the
Yeah, that's
PHP is on the
a
way.
lot of props to the executives, including Zach Solo, but also the biggest props goes to Brian Ramsey, who's done an
Yes.
amazing job since taking over. I mean, he's upgraded the PHPA by a zillion in a year. I mean, even what happened with the ECHL with the sticks, he came in to save the day right away. So it's something where ever since he's come in, he's really taken the, how do you say it? Taken the reins or
Yes, correct.
taking the reins. That's it.
Yeah. Well,
Man,
no, he's
I
just
thought it was
been
gonna
like,
sound cooler than that, but yeah, he's really taken the reins.
dude, he's just like taking charge, like changing the culture around the standard of what we should be playing in. Like it's 2025 now, like you shouldn't be on the bus all the time. Like we get it for league purposes and team purposes, you have to grind a little bit and we're willing to grind, but where there's areas that we can clean up, like they should just be cleaned up. And he's doing that. And the game right now is in a great spot, but it can only get better. And so Brian, hats off to him, man. He's
Yeah,
done
we got a big week for the pod as well. I mean, we're gonna be getting Brian on to talk a little bit about the PHPA and everything that he's done since taking over and why he chose to take over also. We got a couple players locked in that my boy Z-Man locked in for us for the big week. So it's gonna be unbelievable, man. I couldn't be more fired up to even just see you, give you a big hug, and then just chill with everybody and yeah, just hang out.
Yeah, that's going to be great. I just one stat really quick that I want people to know and why the strategic alliance makes sense. 90% of NHLPA members were PHPA members at some point. So they were a part of our union, and it only makes sense that these guys are aligned with us. We play the same game. We interchange a lot with call ups and guys sent down. So it's really good for us and
Yeah, I mean,
forward.
100%. I think it's
Yeah.
going to be unbelievable. Yeah.
Yes, and we get to watch the Stanley Cup with the Panthers on the brink of clinching it.
Same thing happened last year. The Panthers won the Stanley Cup while we were in Orlando. So hopefully the same thing happens again this year.
History repeats itself. We'll see.
But yeah, no, that's all I got, brother. Great episode. Amazing two guests. Huge thanks to Logan Shaw and Alex Carrier for coming on. As always, this episode is brought to you by Tiger's Eye Hockey.
Making hockey IQ great again.
And thanks for tuning in. Make sure you like and subscribe and stay tuned because we got a ton of great episodes coming to you.